Sue Elliott.
And I'm Ed Holland. Welcome to this wrap-up of the 2011 legislative session, a session that some of us thought may never end.
Right. It ended on April 24th, but because legislators had such difficult decisions to make, they couldn't get it done in the time frame that was supposed to be allowed. So the governor had to call a 30-day special session. And
lo and behold, they took all 30 days of the special session to finish up, but they did finish up. They did. We'll give a recap of the operating budget, which was important to a lot of us, in just a moment. But first, let's do a little look back. And we want to highlight, first of all, the hearing on a bill that relates to downsizing and consolidating and closing our large DD institutions. What we're proposing here isn't groundbreaking. Other states have been downsizing, consolidating institutions for a long time, including the 12 or so states that don't have any DD facilities anymore.
Persons with the highest scores for medical and behavioral needs are actually residing in the community, not in our RHCs.
This is tough love. This is not an easy goal under anybody's idea.
As a result of the hearings and all the comments from the public, Senate Bill 5459 did pass both the House and the Senate. It is a very comprehensive bill that talks about the consolidation and closure of Francis Ed Morgan Center. It will limit the age of who could go into the institution, so children 16 and under won't be able to do that unless they're in crisis.
The bill also provides a very good platform for the future. It talks about how to plan in making a move. Person-centered planning needs to be at the heart of the process. So I think it sets a nice foundation for future downsizing and consolidating of our large institutions.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, cuts to home care, got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, cuts to home care, got to go.
Of course, the major thing that we focused on the entire session was the budget. Because of the economy and the shrinking resources that we have as a state, the legislators had to make some really, really difficult decisions. And here's what some of the advocates had to say early on.
Independent living! Independent living! Independent living!
Close the institutions, please. Please.
They cut all my hours, so I don't have anybody, so all these cuts is a very bad idea.
There's stories attached to some of these, and they'll break your heart about how desperate they are for help, how they need the services, they need respite, family support, employment support, residential.
The challenges coming into this session, of course, was that the program that supports families, provides respite care, was suspended. So nobody was able to get access to those types of services. Fortunately, at the end of the day, when the budget was passed, that program was restored, all except for a 10% reduction in funding. But we're so happy to have that back. That's one of the key ways that families are able to support their sons and daughters day in and day out.
Another positive thing from the budget was the funding of the parent-to-parent program. And that program, you may recall, helps support families who have a son or daughter with a developmental disability and hooks them up with other families.
One of the big challenges, however, in the budget was the continued reduction of Medicaid personal care. It doesn't necessarily cut more, but it continues the cuts that have been in place. The budget does include funding for employment and day programs for those on waivers.
Right.
But the students that will be coming out of high school that aren't on waivers, unless there's a way that they can get on a waiver, probably will not be receiving employment and day program upon graduation.
In fact, this is the first time in 20 years this group of young people haven't been funded. And I think there's several travesties in this budget, and that, to me, is one of the bigger travesties.
You know, even though we've come to the end of a legislative session, I'm mindful of the saying, you know, it ain't over till it's over. And a certain part of me thinks that this is not going to be over for a while. We know we have another session coming up. There's a lot of odds and ends that we need to attend to over the next couple of months as this budget gets sorted out. But I have a feeling that we're going to be back at the table again next January with some increasingly challenging issues that are facing people and their supports and services.
So we need you to stay tuned, follow along either through the websites or through emails or action alerts.
And remember,
Change is made by those who show up! Yes! Yes!